two eminent professors. What can I possibly do but ignore everything that they've said?
It's still mine.
It's still yours.
Do you want me to change it when you talk?
Well, if you could just change that and then maybe load these slides up, that would be really helpful. This is the PowerPoint presentation. It's for another conference, but I brought it along as backup.
This one. Message? No, that's
no.
Well,
we could use that one.
It's this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's open that. Thank you very much.
It's not long. Oh, it is.
It's up.
It's on.
Oh,
Is it? Oh, it does it like that. Okay.
Okay.
Let me just check.
Can use that one.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Good. Well, yeah. It's going to be interesting. Actually, what I normally do is I look at the screen to remind me, as Mark said, you can look at the screen and it will remind you what's showing, so I don't need to look at the screen. The screen is showing something different from the slide. I didn't know it was going to do that. So it's all part of a learning experience. So I am going to look at the slides, and it's not the right one, is it? Shame. I'll be with you in a moment. We've got plenty of time, haven't we?
Yeah, we won't be here.
No, it's good. Good, yeah. Right, where was I? Do you remember when we were all archaeologists? Oh no, it's not right either. Good. Oh, right, where are my notes? At almost 20 EAA meetings, I have heard speakers that have been bad in every way, including boring and incomprehensible John Collis, who took months to finish. Bad in every way, including boring and incomprehensible. John Collis, who took months to finish draft guidance to speakers at EAA meetings, is an exception. He taught me to avoid most of these errors, including reading out my presentation in a dull monotone and missing the ends of sentences. So thank you for that, John. The problem with what we've seen so far is it's a choice, isn't it? The guidance that John prepared was to help us be understood. We're not here to be understood. We're here to look clever. It's an either-or decision. Do you want to be understood or do you want to look clever? You want to look clever. It's a simple binary choice. This presentation is not going to help you present clearly, but it might help you show off. This is very important. And this is very important too. I want you to, if you could just focus on that while I just check where I am, because it's hold on. It's Mark touched on this, but is that better? Can you see that, John? Yeah.
I can't see anything.
Okay, yeah. I have seen things like that. Right, the introduction. So you really need to shine in your presentation. Lecturing, it's a competition between you and your audience. And it's indeed a competition between you and the other speakers. It is of paramount importance that you are cleverer than they are. You must win. And it's quite easy. There's some good tricks to do. You don't have to have anything to say. That's not important. Content is irrelevant. It's all about style. And I'm not the only person to say that. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Social Contract. I warn the reader, I'm going to read out the slide, it's great, isn't it? I warn the reader that this chapter must be read carefully, and I do not know the art of making myself intelligible to those who will not be attentive. Quite right, Jean-Jacques, you tell them, this is the stuff. Faites attention. And yeah, important. The sound part. Another thing, if you put sound on your PowerPoint, the big fanfare, it doesn't come out 9 times out of 10. But it is important to have a French philosopher. And so that's my first 10 bonus points. Structure, yeah. Okay. Right, where are we? So, you're right, doesn't work on the screen. But anyway, it's quite important. I've got the pointer out, but we're here. We're here somewhere. I'll just point at that because I can, actually, and it's really distracting. I wonder what it is. Is it Bronze Age? Yeah, no, actually, we're not. That's where this is us. We're just here, just off the corner of the slide. If you have given your presentation and not used the phrase just off the corner of the slide, you have failed completely. It's absolutely important. So that's another of my top tips. Bit of context, show a picture of somewhere else, and then everybody will understand down there. If you don't have one of these pointers, these are quite good, actually. And it doesn't work here, but in a lot of lecture theatres, if you go over and point to that bit there, you can then turn around and you've got the writing over your face, and that's really sophisticated. It's very important. And as I say, just keep using the laser pointer. Once you've started using it, keep using it. Wiggle it round all over the words. Very important. I might forget, but just remind me if I'm not using it. Yeah, and this one, very good. The thumb thing's quite good when you evolve as well. That's going to be useful. Yes, obviously, if you're clever, you're very academic, you've read lots of stuff, so you need to quote a lot of authors. As Mark said, you need lots of information to get your argument across. Just saying it isn't good enough. You don't need to read the authors, just quote them. As I've already shown you, philosophers, very, very important. Must have a philosopher. And Foucault is absolutely fantastic. Yeah. I believe we managed that yesterday.
We had Foucault.
Yes, excellent. Yes. And you've got to be careful how you say that as well, haven't you? Yes. Yeah. And it's easy to quote philosophers because you just Google them, or Wikipedia is really good. And Chinese ones are coming in. Actually, I recommend it's the new philosophy. What I should have said, actually, also, if you use, I'll go back about 3 slides. If you use this all the time, you can run the battery down, and then the next speaker can't advance their slide. Anyway, it's all about you. Repetition for the point of clarity. Mystique. Okay, you as a speaker, you know much more than your audience. You need to keep it like that. If you start explaining things, how is that going to help anyone? Where is your competitive advantage? Important point as well. There's no need to have any content. If you haven't, you're here to speak. It doesn't matter if you haven't done anything, and waste other people's time as well. Why not? Slows down the opposition. So, as I say, it's not what you say that matters. What you say is unimportant. It's what you look like, what you sound like. Right, title. Must begin with a good title. Here's a good title. Sacralization of the multilinear, metadiversity and the transparency of the obscure. Now, all of these words are in this year's programme. They're not actually together, but they are all in the succinct 571,000 word summary programme. The easiest thing is get the colon in first, and then I've cheated. You should put random words on either side of the colon, but I spoiled that by picking words that are in other presentations. Repetition, understanding. This is on human understanding. John Locke in 1690, speaking on human understanding, apologising that his work was too long. The way it has been writ, being apt to cause some repetitions, but to confess the truth, I am now too lazy or too busy to make it shorter. We've seen that presentation. Actually, Jean-Jacques Rousseau had seen that presentation, wasn't he? So, again, two eminent philosophers saying it's not your problem, it's the audience's problem if they don't understand you. And yeah, another 5 bonus points. Doing well. Impressive language. Some good examples. Now, I don't know if that is legible, so I'm going, John, can you read that? Or shall I?
I can't read anything.
Right. Well,
don't ask me.
No, but it's important because it's about you. This concerns you. Collis, 1999, drawing on heuristically derived experiential data derived from counterproductive behavioural instances of oral agency in a quasi-academic context, projected via didactic discourse a suite of methodological norms for enhanced effect. You get the picture. We've heard that lecture.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Yeah. Despite a sound theoretical grounding, the Collis proposition statistically failed to score highly on the impact when viewed from a praxis perspective. That's really important. Now, that's quite clever. That's an expensive university education allows you to say things like that. If you're not competent, you're going to come up with something like that. Collis heard a lot of poor lectures, so produced EAA guidance to help speakers be understood. What's clever about that? Most speakers did not use it, is what the second paragraph. Yeah. This is simple, this is comprehensible, it's pointless. You gain no advantage by writing like that. 5-year-old could write like that. How am I doing for time, John? Am I overrunning?
I'm sorry, I haven't got my watch here.
I think another half hour or so would do it.
I think if you want to leave now.
Okay, that's right. Yeah. That animation, yeah. So actually, I am going to draw to a conclusion with 3 golden rules, which I think will stand you in good stead. Sorry about this. Yeah. Hello? Yeah.
Come on, get out of there. I want to go for a pint.
Okay, all right. Okay, Mark. I'm not much longer now. I think I can't tell on the screen, but yeah, it'll be all right. Anyway, yeah, you too. Yeah, love you. Bye. Super. Yeah, that's one of the golden rules. Plan ahead. Know when your phone calls are coming. It's no time for planning. We're far too busy for that. Know your audience. Who are they? Who is your audience? What are they playing at? What do they know? How many of them are still awake? Oh, it's quite important to actually single someone out and patronise them if you get a chance, by the way. I don't know if anyone may. No, I won't. And context, just as an ancient monument is affected by its setting, this is real. This is a cairn, Ballylumford in Northern Ireland, which has not benefited from the best advice on the setting of an ancient monument. But your presentation needs context. So you need a map, as I say, showing somewhere else. And we all get caught out by unexpected events, don't we? Even the best of us, even the psychics can get caught out by unexpected events. Doesn't matter. It's just one of the things you learn to cope with. I mean, there's tricks you have, spare trousers, that sort of thing. But don't prepare. It's really important not to prepare. If you prepare, it looks like you've had time to give respect to your audience. You don't. You're too important. So that's my 3 golden rules. 3C, speed. I think Mark is wrong. You need to cram as much in as you possibly can to give people value for money. But there is the point that if you listen to Mark speaking, he leaves gaps between words so that we know where one word stops and the next one begins. And that's a really valuable technique for helping comprehension if you want to be understood. And in many ways, the gaps are the best bit. But if you're trying to cram the information in, just remember this. Listening to another language is hard work, isn't it? You need to concentrate hard to understand a foreign language. So, to stop people getting tired of concentrating hard, go really, really fast. That way they don't have to concentrate for very long at all. That's much kinder. So, is that as clear as it might be? And this is true as well. This is real. It's easier to correct spelling mistakes on PowerPoint than some other media. Although, well, yes, it's not. But don't worry if you have got things spelt wrong, if you don't know your enunciation from your enunciation, because that's heterography, and that's a good thing. So that's really it. That's the 5 golden rules, simple rules. If you follow these simple rules, you will become a leader in your field, a leader in presentations, and you get the bonus points. I think I'm drawing to a close now, but I haven't really overrun quite enough, so I'll keep going. It's worth remember this. It's a very, very important watchword. I've been unkind. I mean, my job is looking after archaeologists. I actually get paid to do it, and it's great. And some of them have good presentation skills, and some are not so good. And often I don't mind, because if they are enthusiastic about their subject, if they love archaeology, I love them. Archaeologists are lovely people, and I really hope that I haven't offended anyone today. It's all said with great affection for our profession. And if you are ambitious and you are here to promote yourself, that's good. Ambition is a good thing. Politeness is good too, and not stealing other people's time. But don't be afraid to promote yourself. You need to make a career in this wonderful world. So thank you. Thank you for your attention. So now, I'd like to go on to the technical.